Welcome, football lovers! Share your predictions for today's clash between Manchester City and Arsenal that could potentially decide the Premier League title race fate. And while you're typing, we proceed to start. Let's get the show on the pitch. Barcelona made a proposal to Frank Kessié and Andres Christensen to reduce their salary, but the response was negative. Liverpool are interested in signing Calvin Phillips from Manchester City this summer and are willing to pay £35 million. The Englishman is open to the move, the Daily Star informs. UEFA President Alexander Ciferin has confirmed that there is a possibility that after 2025, significant Champions League games will be played in the United States. Leandro Paredes is set to return to PSG this summer, but a large part of the dressing room doesn't want him back, L'Equipe notes. Manchester United are ready to pay the €10 million release clause for Dominik Livakovic from Dinamo Zagreb. I really want to play week in, week out again. I haven't spoken to the board yet, but it's clear that the current role doesn't match my expectations. Void Ball International quotes Bayern Munich midfielder Ryan Gravenberch. Girona striker Tati Castellanos has become the first footballer since 1947 to score 4 goals against Real Madrid in a single La Liga fixture. Footy Headlines has revealed images of Inter Milan home and away kits for 2022-23 season. Lille boss Paulo Fonseca has been mentioned as a viable contender for the position of the new coach of Nice. Aston Villa have now scored in each of their 20 Premier League games since Unai Emery became their manager. No team in the history of the competition has scored in more consecutive games after appointing a new manager. AC Milan are pushing to secure the future of Rafael Leao with a new long-term contract as soon as possible, according to Fabrizio Romano. No La Liga team has picked up more points than Sevilla since José Luis Mendilibar took charge of the club. Tottenham players will reimburse the club supporters who paid for tickets for the match against Newcastle, which Spurs lost 6-1. The corresponding statement was made by the club's press service. I have a 2-year contract. I am privileged to work at Juventus. To work 7 years here is for few people. There are difficult moments when things don't go well, but you have to face them with broad shoulders and serenity and have clear ideas when planning the future. Massimiliano Allegri reported to Football Italia. Real Madrid have offered Nacho Fernandez a contract renewal until 2024, Nicolas Cure claims. Bayern Munich defender Alphonso Davies has begun the rehabilitation process after picking up a hamstring injury that will keep the Canadian out for the rest of the season. Vincent Kompany's Burnley won the 2022-23 championship ahead of schedule. I'm an important element of the team and I want to continue at Marseille. My only objective this summer is to go on holiday and then to come back to Marseille, Cengiz Under stated. RB Leipzig is interested in Victor Boniface and Lois Openda as the club prepares for the potential departure of André Silva, Sky Germany notes. I think Xavi Simons is a boy who weighs up his choices very carefully. The most important thing is that he's playing. You develop the best that way. So I think it's good if he just stays with PSV for another year, Ronald Koeman said in an interview for Studio Void Ball. Brighton Hove Albion striker Evan Ferguson has penned a new contract at the club until 2028. Nicola Barella, Lautaro Martinez and Alessandro Bastoni are Inter's 3 untouchable players this summer. La Gazzetta dello Sport understands. Thomas Müller has been awarded the Bavarian State Medal for social merit for his commitment off the pitch. Romelu Lukaku will be given the option to revive his career at Chelsea under new manager Mauricio Pochettino, The Telegraph reports. PSG are interested in appointing Thiago Motta as their next manager. The Italian is set to meet with Bologna to discuss his future at the club. He wants to stay but wants an ambitious project. Dani Olmo has received his final contract offer from RB Leipzig, which would make him one of the club's highest earners. If rejected, Leipzig will seek to sell the Spaniard this summer, Florian Plettenberg shared. Vinicius Jr. attempted 25 dribbles in the game against Girona, the most by a player in a La Liga game since at least the 05-06 season. Borussia Dortmund are keeping tabs on Chelsea midfielder Conor Gallagher, who is valued at around £44 million, Sky Sport informs. Jose Mourinho has recently met with his agent Jorge Mendes. given his contract with AS Roma being valid until 2024, though any further decision was delayed until the end of the season. The pre-trial hearing of Benjamin Mendy has been postponed until June 26th. The Man City defender is facing a retrial on 2 counts of rape and attempted rape, RMC Sport reports. Let's have a look at the results of yesterday's games in the top 5 European leagues. And now we move to the most interesting news of the release. Negotiations between PSG and Lionel Messi on a contract extension have been stalled. The Parisians are planning the next campaign without the Argentine on board, Le Parisien reports. The club believes that landing a new contract becomes almost impossible due to Messi's salary demands. His father and agent, Jorge Messi, believes that Leo deserves a pay rise after winning the 2022 World Cup with Argentina. PSG in turn wanted to renew the striker on the same terms he has now. Moreover, Messi is unhappy with the uncertainty surrounding the club's sporting project for the 2023-24 season. The 35-year-old footballer likes the idea of returning to Barcelona much more. Chelsea have reached a verbal agreement with Mauricio Pochettino. The manager is now one step away from leading the pensioners, but his appointment will not be officially announced before July. It should be recalled that Frank Lampard is currently coaching Chelsea on an interim basis. The Blues are 11th in the Premier League table with 39 points after 31 match weeks. Newcastle United are keen on signing Barcelona winger Rafinha. If they qualify for the Champions League this summer, the Magpies will be ready to spend up to 200 million euros on transfers and boost their roster for the most prestigious European competition. Rafinha is listed among the main targets of the tune, but Barcelona are not willing to part ways with the Brazilian. The Catalans will agree to sell him only if they receive an offer greater than 90 million euros. Manchester United will offer Tottenham Hotspur forward Harry Kane a £300,000 salary per week, making him the highest paid player in the team. The Red Devils also intend to extend the contract of Marcus Rashford, who has just over 12 months left on his deal. Manchester bosses are planning to bring their graduate to the same salary that Kane will have. At last, we have the biggest shock. Giovanna Gonzalez, a journalist on the TV show Socialité, claims that Cristiano Ronaldo and Georgina are on the verge of a breakup, despite 7 years of relationship and raising 5 children. The reasons are very strong. It'll be quite difficult for them to get over it if it's true, because things would have to change a lot between the two of them. One side is bothered by something the other is doing, and they don't reach an intermediate point. And in the Portuguese show Noite das Estrelas, reporters who are close friends of Ronaldo's mother, Dolores Aveiro, recently stated, "It's not a moment of happiness for Cristiano, and the further away he is from his mother, the less temperate he is." In the series Soy Georgina, all Georgina does is spend, spend, and spend. Worst of all, she thinks she's on par with Cristiano. It's likely that they will separate. The reality is that Cristiano is fed up, sources say. Guys, we highly recommend checking out a new video on the Inside Football channel, from which you will find out what difficulties Ronaldo and Georgina are facing in Saudi Arabia. Epic prohibitions. You have to see it. Be quick to click on the link. Thank you, and see you in a bit.